you guys see my presentation?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. So welcome. My name is Magali Diaz, and I work with Partners Resource Network. And if you haven't heard about us, then we're an organization and we offer free resources to families with kiddos with special needs from newborns all the way up until 26. And we also work with the youth, which is how I met Natalia. We train 14-year-olds to 26-year-olds on how to advocate for themselves so they can start attending IEP meetings and just be a self-advocate. So again, we offer free resources. At the end of the presentation, you guys will have my name and number. That way, in case you ever need help with anything, you can just call me, email me. We go to art meetings right now virtually. So if you ever need some art assistance, I can help you in that way. So obviously, if you're here, then that means that you have a child with special needs. And I know we feel overwhelmed at this moment in wearing so many hats. We're not just the therapist, we're the teacher, some of us. We're mom, chef, chauffeur. We have a lot of hats and we have to wear them all. And I know that for myself, I put myself last. There's just too many things to do that. So we're going to talk about what is self-care, and we're going to go through like a little action plan of how you can kind of divide up some tasks and get some people on board to lessen the load. I know it's hard to ask for help, especially right now, but self-care is any activity that makes you feel better, improves your health. I don't know if you guys have seen that meme that says like a shower is not self-care. Yeah, a shower is not self-care. It's just a basic need. We shouldn't be taking a shower just to giving us some self-care. So if we're going to do some self-care, it needs to address cognitive, emotional, physical, or social. It can be different for everybody. I know some people like to read, some people like to do yoga or exercise or organizing. Organizing makes people feel better. I kind of get more overwhelmed whenever I start organizing. So organizing is not self-care for myself. So you have to remember that you're the most important, not that you're the most important person in the family, but you take care of everybody. So you need to take care of yourself, set up some boundaries. If people are depending on you a lot, you can just learn to say no. Right now, it's very easy to say no because, I mean, we're not supposed to be going out a lot and we're supposed to still be, you know, not, I guess, social distancing. So anything that you want, those needs are valid. Again, ask for help whenever you need it. And also a big thing is like productivity doesn't define your worth. I know right now we're comparing ourselves to what is my friend doing during quarantine time. Oh, wow, she's doing home projects, or she started a garden, or she's sewing, or projects that seem very complicated. Being productive shouldn't define your worth. So if you haven't been accomplishing a lot of projects in quarantine, that's fine too. Maybe you've just been resting. I know it's been great for us to just rest and not have a million social engagements to go to every weekend. Just everything is more slow paced. And my husband kind of likes that. He thinks that's the best. So 5 components of self-care. You have to know about self-care, ask for help, obviously maintaining your health, taking breaks, and have a positive attitude. So some people like to bake, or for me, it's jumping on a video with friends, like Zoom Moms Nights or Zoom support groups. That's my self-care. If I can connect with other moms online, whether it's my Down syndrome group or just my mom friends that I like, having a Zoom night right now, that's been my self-care. And I tell my husband, okay, Thursday, 7 o'clock, don't bother me. I'm gonna be with my friends on Zoom. you're with the kids. Again, some people like to work out, draw, talking with the pet. That looked interesting to me, but I do like spending time with my cat. I feel like he's very relaxing. Some of the most important things is obviously to get enough sleep, which I know that is a tricky thing because, well, my little ones are 8 and 4, or about to be 8. So when they're gone to bed, then I stay up, catching up on all my shows, catching up with personal emails, catching up on social media, and then there goes my sleep. I stay up super late, and then I have to wake up early the next day. And I always tell them, Mommy needs some sleep because I'm not happy when I don't sleep. So reading a book, eating well, coffee. Who doesn't love coffee? Another great thing is fresh air. I like to go on walks in the morning now that my girls are back at school. I go on morning walks whenever they're gone, and I find it so peaceful just to walk around, get that fresh air, especially now that the weather's starting to get really nice here in San Antonio. Obviously, spending time with the people that you love. Some families are doing some get-togethers, and that's fine, whatever you're comfortable with. You could decorate some pumpkins, like a family project. Again, go on a nature walk. I don't know why going to a farmer's market would be. I don't know about that one right now. I don't even go to HEB, honestly. I do curbside pickup. So knowing what to expect can lower your stress. So if you have a plan, then you can know what your future medical needs and care are, learning the skills that you'll need later. And then if you have a symptom, a behavior, then you know that it could probably be related to your stress. I know some people start feeling like they're gonna have like a panic attack or like a heart attack, like where your chest starts to hurt. That could be a sign that you're really stressed out and you need to take care of yourself. So if you could ask for help, maybe you could do a list and see what tasks you can hand off to somebody. Again, I know right now it's not like a perfect situation to be asking random people to come babysit your kids. I know I'm not comfortable with that. But if you have a grandma that's really involved and she would help, I know my mom, anything I ask, she's willing to help. Any family or friends, or if you're really close with your neighbors and they are offering to help, I don't see why you can't take advantage of that. Moms always take care of moms. I have a sister that just had a newborn baby last week, and she has a toddler too. So I've been taking her toddler on the weekends to just give her like a little break. So she only has to, be with the newborn and take naps with the baby. So little things like that, awesome help. Local agencies, if you guys are familiar with respite care, you could get respite where they come and literally take care of your kids, and then they even, some agencies even pay for it, right? I've never used respite care. I know it's Respite Care of San Antonio. I don't know if they're already open again. I know their daycare was closed. So, but also there's volunteer groups that provide the service in the area. I know when we would do events at the Down Syndrome Association, a lot of the volunteers were from UTSA, and they would volunteer to watch the kids, just so that the moms could go to their class or go to their get-togethers. So I think the thing that we're not thinking about is like our overall health. If we're not taking care of ourselves, then it could lead to other things. And I'm not gonna lie, I have not gone to a regular health checkup in a really long time, especially right now. I'm not gonna make an appointment and go to a doctor's office just to get my checkup. But that is really important. It's actually on my list of things to do this month. So, and getting your preventative healthcare needs, your physicals, if you need your blood checked, things like that. We already talked about sleep, to make sure that you have a good sleep pattern. I love diffusing lavender because it helps me like wind down, and lately I've been really trying to turn off all screens, TV, phone, tablet, whatever, just turn them off at a decent time, and then giving myself some extra time to fall asleep. So if I turn them off at 10, then, I wind down and then start getting to sleep by 10:30. Regular exercise, I don't like go to the gym, but going on walks is great, and you can do it as a whole family or you can do it by yourself. And this, I think, just improves your overall mental health, because, if you don't take care of that, then I feel like sometimes we keep going, keep going, keep going, and keep taking on, and we have so much on our plate, and then it can lead to just like one day you just explode. And it doesn't feel very good. It feels like, why did I let it get to this point? Why didn't I just, ask my significant other to do this? So that's something that we could all do, just your mental health and asking for help. So if you just start with like 5 minutes a day, meditating, reading a book, listening to music, getting away from it all, or again, make time with friends. That's my number one thing. I make time to, we're supposed to be social distancing, like physically, but I still want to keep like our social connections there, whether we're FaceTiming or Zoom, something. I just stay, connected with our friends, and then ask them how they're doing, because sometimes maybe your mommy friend just needs somebody to talk to, and maybe just being a good listener could make that person feel better too. So finding the time to connect with them and ask them how they're doing, using your respite care, meditation, breathing exercises. We had a lady come to PRN and do breathing exercises, and I couldn't get into it personally, but maybe if I were to do it more, then I would get better at it. Again, if you have a positive attitude, it's just going to help you have a good outlook and giving good care for your loved ones. We can't control everything, especially right now. How long did we have to wait to hear about what the plans were going to look like for our kiddos to go back to school? And that's something that we can't control. It's out of our hands. We just have to wait and see. Keep checking your email. Don't feel guilty about taking time for yourself. Never feel guilty. So we know that we can't cure our loved ones. My daughter has Down syndrome, but just offering some dignity and making her feel safe and planning for her future, that's my number one goal. And even if your loved ones can't show appreciation, you can take pride in what you're doing for them. I know every once in a while, my daughter will say nice things about me. Like, she told her therapist, I love my mommy so much. She brings me to therapy. And I'm like, oh my God, I wish you could have recorded that. Like, thank you, Audrey, for saying nice things about me. So the caregiver stress is both emotional and physical, right? Because we start getting frustrated, we start feeling angry, guilty, loneliness. I don't know how many of you guys, when you first have that child with special needs, you feel like, I can't be friends with all these other people that I was friends with before because they don't understand what I'm going through. They don't have a child with special needs. They don't have a child in special education. It's really hard to connect, and then you start alienating yourself. You don't call them anymore. Or if you see them on social media posting about their kiddo meeting all these milestones and doing all these great things, you start feeling depressed because you're like, my kid is not doing all those great things. My kiddo's barely over here. So that is, it's both like you're alienating yourself, and then you're getting depressed because you have nobody to talk to about what you're going through. So finding that group of parents, moms, whatever, that is in your bubble. They know, they get it, whether you're with an autism group or just any person with the special needs in their family. It's just, you're gonna feel better talking to them because they're gonna get you. If you don't take care of yourself, then your stress can also start making you sick. And then you start getting a weak immune system, and then you start getting sick. And well, right now, we don't want to be sick, right? We're all trying to stay away from COVID. So if you have obesity, then that can also lead to other conditions. And then, like I said, depression, anxiety. I think everybody's anxiety is really high right now, not just parents with kiddos with special needs. Everybody seems very anxious. So you also have to take care of your relationships, your husband, your significant other, because if you guys don't know, the divorce rate is really high for couples with kiddos with special needs. So, you know, because you start forgetting about each other, and one of the parents always takes on more, and then some people feel like, you know, you start resenting the other partner for not doing as much. So if you start putting time apart for you and your husband to do, I know, again, right now we can't really do date night. Some people can. I see it happening. Some people are back to date night, but you could do something at home, like a stay at home date night, or order takeout and wait for all the kiddos to go to sleep and do a date night at home. Just watch Netflix together, watch a movie, pick a movie together, or I don't know, maybe even just going on a walk by yourselves, just something together, find the time and support each other. And then connecting again with those couples that are in your same situation and keeping great communication. I know my husband says we talk more via text than we do in person, because he's always in one room doing Zoom, and then I'm in another room and we're just working. And then, you know, I just text him because I can't go interrupt his meeting. So he's like, why are you constantly texting me? Like, we live in the same house. Because you're in a meeting and I just remembered something and I have to let you know, like, okay, I gotta go do this today, you know, things like that. So communication, any form. If you want to email, if you want to text, that's fine. You want to call them, but it's just funny. This one is actually very current. It's self-care in the age of coronavirus. So I remember in the beginning, we made a plan on how to isolate. Like if one of us got sick, either my husband or I got sick, to make sure that we had enough food for at least 2 weeks so that we didn't have to go to the grocery. So making sure that we had our essential supplies, staying informed with trusted sources. In the beginning of COVID, I was like, no Facebook, no social media. It's making me antsy seeing people post about, I don't know, the toilet paper shortage and the meat shortage at HEB. I couldn't take it anymore. Like emotionally, it was just making me crazy. So I said, no more. I'm going to stay off of that. And just taking care of your family. We didn't go to any large gatherings for like a good 3 months. Spending a lot of time outside, getting that vitamin D, that fresh air. And of course, the big one, fact checking the rumors, because even though I was off of social media, then you start getting your mom calling about, oh, did you see what happened? Oh, I saw it on Facebook. I saw this and that. The news said this is going to happen. And I'm like, okay, mom, I'm trying to avoid these types of news, and then you're calling me to tell me. So I would just tell my mom, make sure that you're not just getting your news from Facebook and the news, like you have to go do your own research online. Don't trust the media. So what is good? Well, good self-care is not spending excessive amounts of time planning, binge watching the news. Again, that just, so many of my friends would tell me, I'm not watching any news channels. I'm just not going on YouTube looking at, you know, crazy videos. and not thinking about the crazy, like worst case scenario. And then again, the big one, isolating from relationships. That's one of the things that I didn't want to do. I kept, there's so much technology to keep with informed with others and connected. So we all need love, rest, hope, support, courage. I know hugs are a little bit hard right now, but it just from my kids, like sometimes giving them a hug would just make my day feel so much better. I remember when we had Easter and you couldn't really go do Easter with your family, right? Like Easter was like the first holiday. I felt so sad that I couldn't be with my parents, with my family that I'm always spending time with. So just like hugging on my kids and my husband, since we're all, you know, it's our bubble and we're not sick, that just makes everybody feel better. So you need to identify your self-care needs and then make a plan for sharing the caregiver role, because it shouldn't be just you doing everything for everyone. So think about the background and individual circumstances that led you to become the caregiver. I know some families, it's not like mom or dad, maybe it's an aunt that's being the caregiver, or a sister is taking care of their sibling with special needs. Just anybody in the family, take a look at your background. And if you have dreams, a vision of things that you would like to see happen, or your biggest fears, just writing down like, my biggest fear obviously is like, when we die, who's going to take care of my kids? And that's, if you talk to any parent of a kiddo with special needs, that's our number one fear across the board. We want our kids to be taken care of, whether it's a family member, sibling. But we feel like we can't die. If we're not here for them, who's going to do what we're doing? Think about who you are right now and who you were even before you had your kids. I know I was a completely different person before my kids. What strengths you have, what skills you've gained, what values you have, your likes, and a brief assessment of the resources that you have that will help you address your caregiving and self-care needs. So again, if you have a lot of options with family members, then write all of those down that have said, yes, I can totally help out. Or if you know that person's not willing to help out, then that's fine. And it's hard, especially for families that don't have extended family in San Antonio. Like if you live here and then your extended family lives hours away, that's a little bit hard for them to help you out. That's when you look at your community, your groups, your neighbors. And then what are your needs? Think about all the things that need to happen to make your dreams come true, to help you address your self-care needs. I can send you this chart, Natalia. This is going to be like the activity that people can use this handout.
Awesome.
So go through your needs, wants, how much time you spend doing each activity, how often do you do this activity, if you have to spend any money on these things. So your tasks are going to be like your regular chores at home, or making the food for the kiddos, mowing the lawn, things like that. Any car repairs, bathing, feeding. Luckily, my daughter's 8 or about to be 8, so she doesn't really need a lot of help. I just kind of tell her, don't forget to rinse your hair off. But the 4-year-old requires a little bit more hands-on, so I still have to be there for that. Who can help you complete the task? Again, family, friends. If it's going to cost you anything, then you probably need to avoid it and try to look for something that's going to be free, or that you can reciprocate the service. Like if you can help that family out by watching their kid, that could be better. Like I know I rather do free things as well. And what are you going to gain by delegating all these tasks? Well, you're going to gain more freedom. If I ask my neighbor to mow the lawn, then I'm going to have more free time to be with my family or take a little break. And if you ask your friends to watch your kiddos, then you can also, again, do the same thing for them. Nope, those to the best. I'm sorry. What are some ways that you guys are doing self-care? Like, how do you take care of yourself?
For me, it's like learning to delegate in this season. It's so hard, just in general, with everything being virtual, like trying to kind of pawn things off on other people. I'm like, oh, it's so much easier for me to do it than like explain it in an email and then share all the documents and like do all of that. So, really trying to focus on delegation right now.
Yeah, that's true.
I think for me, it's like remembering to ask for help because I tend to take everything on with my son in school and everything, and then I forget and then I get overwhelmed. And then I kind of like break down. So I've been really trying to work on like doing little things for myself to not get to that point.
Right, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like my friend was saying that she couldn't even finish her like shopping list. She was gonna do not a curbside order, like an Amazon order of picking up food. And she said like the kids kept, wanting her attention, and she's like, I'm just trying to get everybody groceries. Like we need to have food in this house. And she kind of exploded on them. And then she realized, well, I could have asked my husband to make this list, do this order. If I just wrote down my list and then passed it on to him, or also just taking that time, like at a different, like maybe when the kids are napping or asleep. She said, I felt so bad. I'm yelling at them and they're probably like, okay, like, get it. We need food. But yeah, little things like that can just, overwhelm you. Anybody else? What are you guys doing?
At work, I stand for long periods of time, so I always make sure to stretch just to have my body not ache or things like that. And I've really enjoyed it.
I'm the opposite. I like sit all day on my desk. So now they got us the little standing desks. And now I try to do half of the day I'm sitting, half of the day I'm standing because, like I'm just sitting all day. I can't work like that. We used to like go out into the city and I would be go, go, go. And now, I mean, I can feel the COVID-19 pounds that I've gained.
It was such an adjustment. Like I used to literally be gone every day from like 7 a.m. until like 9 p.m. And now I'm like just home all the time. Like I haven't left the house in like 3 days. I'm like, what is life now?
Yeah, it's like we don't even know what day it is. My husband's an introvert, and maybe I'm not an extrovert like online, but I need my friends, I need to talk to people. So for him, that he's telling me I need to go back into the office. Like I miss work, and he works for USAA, and they're not going to let them go back until 2021. So he's like, they've already said, do you want to go back to in 2021? And I said, yes, like I need to go back. And I'm like, you don't even like being there. Like, how can you not like just being at home? And he's like, I'm just more productive at the office. I can get more done at the office. And here I have so many distractions and, you know, like somebody else was going to talk. So I stopped talking. Does anybody read or exercise or, I don't know, sew, knit, crochet?
I started a garden, so I laughed a little bit when you were like, don't compare yourself to your friend that started a garden. I was like, that's me. I
Well,
am my friend.